It all began in a dusty London attic, where a forgotten manuscript surfaced in 1997. A small publisher received a single haunting chapter titled Safe Exit, with a note, "If this interests you, more will follow. Publish as is, do not edit." The author, E. Calder, was a complete unknown. The chapter described a man quietly packing to leave his life behind. No action, just tension and finality. The writing was raw, authentic, and unlike any typical spy thriller. The publisher, captivated, printed it in their journal. Days later, E. Calder vanished from his flat in Pimlico. No struggle, just a half-finished cup of tea and a typewriter waiting for words. His disappearance was as quiet as his story. But in the corridors of power, the publication triggered panic. The literary world buzzed with speculation, but they missed the real danger. Who was E. Calder? Why did one story make him disappear? The truth was far more dangerous than anyone guessed. This wasn't just literature. It was a key to secrets some would kill to keep buried. The manuscript had unlocked a door that should have stayed shut. In the shadows, Calder's story was already causing tremors. The world saw a missing writer. The intelligence community saw a threat. The mystery of E. Calder was just beginning. What looked like fiction was a warning. The attic manuscript was more than a story. It was a spark. And the fire it started would burn through the world of espionage. The legend of E. Calder was born in silence, but it would echo for decades. Sometimes the most dangerous stories are the ones that seem harmless. To understand the mystery, you must understand the man. E. Calder was a pseudonym. His real name remains classified. Born in the 1950s, he was a Cambridge graduate with a gift for languages. Recruited by MI6 in the 1970s, Calder became a master of blending in, an invisible man in a world of shadows. He spent years in Eastern Europe, running agents and gathering secrets under the cover of a cultural attaché. Calder's life was a constant game of survival, where one mistake could mean death or worse. He saw friends compromised, learned the brutal cost of betrayal, and grew disillusioned. By the late 1980s, as the Cold War thawed, Calder left the service, officially due to burnout, but rumors swirled of deeper disillusionment. Bound by the Official Secrets Act, he turned to fiction to process his ghosts. He didn't want to write thrillers. He wanted to capture the loneliness and fear of real espionage. Calder believed fiction could reveal truths that official channels never would, but some truths refused to stay hidden. His stories blurred the line between fact and fiction, and that would prove dangerous. Calder's writing was a vessel for secrets too volatile for reports. He thought he could disguise the truth. But the world of spies is never fooled for long. Calder's attempt to tell his story would set off a chain reaction, and soon, fiction would become a weapon. Safe Exit was a masterclass in subtlety. On the surface, it followed Arthur, a man methodically preparing to disappear. The prose was spare, focusing on the smallest details. A folded shirt, a burned photograph, a map of a forgotten border crossing. There were no guns, no chases, just a quiet, mounting dread. Every action was deliberate, every object loaded with unspoken meaning. Critics praised its psychological depth, missing the hidden architecture beneath. For most, it was a moving story of loss, but for a select few, it was something else, a message, a warning, an instruction manual. Calder had camouflaged a dangerous blueprint inside literary fiction. The story was designed to be read on two levels: art for the public, code for the initiated. No one suspected the truth. Safe Exit was a map for those who knew how to read it. Calder's genius was hiding secrets in plain sight. The world saw a promising writer. The intelligence community saw a threat, and the real story was just beginning. The first to crack Safe Exit's code wasn't a critic, but a retired GCHQ cryptographer. A phrase, "3 sparrows on the wire, then one flew east," triggered memories of old spy codes. Rereading, he found patterns, numbers, brands, even the scent of rain, all signals. The chapter was a detailed exfiltration plan, revealing safe houses, agent names, and escape protocols. Calder had published a state secret, weaponizing fiction. The implications were catastrophic. Analysts decoded the what, but the why remained a terrifying mystery. And as they worked, the real-world consequences were already unfolding. Once the code was confirmed, panic swept through Western intelligence. MI6 scrambled to evacuate compromised safe houses in Prague and Warsaw, but the agents were already gone, vanished as quietly as Calder himself. The network collapsed overnight, years of work undone in days. Trust shattered, alliances strained, and recruitment in Eastern Europe became nearly impossible. Calder's name became synonymous with betrayal. He hadn't just exposed secrets, he'd undermined the very foundation of espionage. The incident became a cautionary tale. Even the best-kept secrets can be hidden in plain sight. The ripple effects would haunt intelligence services for years. Calder's story was no longer just fiction, it was a disaster, and the hunt for him intensified. As intelligence scrambled, the public mystery of Calder's disappearance deepened. Police found no leads. Neighbors described him as a ghost. The media spun tales of the novelist who vanished into his own story. MI6 launched a global manhunt. Some wanted justice, others feared what else he might reveal. But within MI6, a different theory emerged. Calder wasn't a traitor, but a desperate whistleblower. Perhaps he'd uncovered a mole so high up he couldn't trust anyone. Safe Exit, they argued, was a warning to save agents from betrayal within. Calder's disappearance was either an escape or a rescue, hidden by allies or hunted by enemies. The race was on. Protect him or silence him forever. The truth remained buried, as elusive as Calder himself. For 5 years, Calder was a ghost, until a hidden package was found in his old flat. Inside, draft chapters for The Gray Man, more complex and coded than Safe Exit. The new chapters were dense, paranoid, and laced with steganographic secrets. Coordinates, names, conspiracies. Analysts spent months decoding them, uncovering hints of a vast, hidden cabal manipulating both East and West. Calder's codes pointed to high-ranking officials, suggesting a conspiracy that spanned continents. He wasn't just exposing secrets, he was trying to leave a record before he was silenced. The drafts transformed Calder from missing person to potential whistleblower of historic proportions. His story was now a threat to governments, not just agencies. The mystery deepened. Was he a traitor, or the only one brave enough to tell the truth? The unfinished novel became a Rosetta Stone for a secret history. Calder's legend grew, and the stakes rose higher. The world would never see espionage the same way again. Decades later, Calder's fate remains unsolved. Was he silenced by his own service or protected by loyalists who understood his warning? One theory says he was eliminated, a clean, professional job to protect secrets. Another claims he was hidden, sheltered by a clandestine network of retired spies. Some believe he's still out there, sending coded messages in obscure texts and online posts. Calder became a ghost, a legend, a phantom who fights with words, not weapons. His story is a battleground for truth and myth. The search for his next message continues in literary circles and intelligence forums alike. The spy who became a story may still be writing, and the world keeps looking for the next chapter. Calder's story blurs the line between fiction and fact. He proved that stories can be weapons, keys, or maps, dangerous in the wrong hands. His single chapter sent ripples through both literature and intelligence. Was he justified in exposing secrets to reveal a greater truth? The drafts found in his flat remain classified, their secrets locked away. Is it better for some stories to remain unfinished? Calder became a legend, a ghost in the machine, a warning, a question mark. And perhaps the most dangerous story is the one we never get to read.